My name is Kenolo. I'm working in water.
Et nous sommes dans les studios avec le Crucial Kizaron. Moi je m'appelle Eric.
Like I said, I'm 31 years old. I graduated from Daystar a couple of years back, and I decided to come back to Kibera with friends of mine and start an organization called Filamu Juani. Started working with the high school in Kibera with high school students to train them how to shoot video, how to take pictures, and hopefully that'll be a way of them expressing themselves and also earning a livable wage. Before coming to Kibera, I was working in Kampala, Uganda as a communications and operations manager in a renewable energy company. It was a nice gig. It was a World Bank funded project. But one day when I was in the streets of Kampala, I saw this boy who was about, I think, 4 years old, walking around Starbucks. I caught him picking up a cigarette butt and smoking it. Something moved in me and I started taking pictures of this kid. I took a series of shots, and in one of the shots, I caught him picking up a cigarette butt and smoking it. I shared that picture with a friend of mine who was attending Kampala Pentecostal then, but I didn't know what she should do with the picture, so I just looked at the picture, and that was it. But later on, when I passed by there, I found the kid had clothes. And I began thinking, if one of my pictures can make someone do this, then I want to do this for a living. I went and quit my job. I think it was a rash decision, but I think I was just overwhelmed with the possibility of using my interest, my skills, my experience in photography to fight this object poverty you're seeing around me. After 6 weeks of trying to penetrate Kachanga slums in Kampala, Uganda, I gave up and decided to take a breather, come back to Nairobi and refresh myself and try and get a clear direction and maybe come back to Uganda. But when I was in Nairobi, I approached the Nairobi chapel to see if I could do an internship with them. One thing led to another, and ended up working with Mavuno Downtown as a volunteer. Through Mavuno Downtown, I linked up with a filmmaker from the US and ended up going to the US for about 13 months, training. In one of my trips to the US, a couple I was staying with saw my picture and decided to get me a Nikon D40X. I mean, that thing was $1,000. You can imagine how that was for me. I mean, my first professional camera. When I came back to Kenya, I had a purpose. My purpose was to go to Kibera, get my award-winning shot, take it to a photo contest and win the $10,000 prize money they had. And lo and behold, my first 10 minutes into Kibera, I was overwhelmed. The friend who invited me didn't know this, but it was just too much for me. The sight, the sound, everything was just too much. And for me, it was just too much. But something happened that day. I connected with these kids who my friend was trying to teach how to do video, and we ended up doing a short documentary called Living in the Bucket. Living in the Bucket went ahead to win the Best Sanitation documentary in 2008.
Tumia wakati wa usiku ni kasuku hii. Na hii kasuku ndio sisi wote tunatumia, na unapofika wa asubuhi mtu wa kwanza kuamka anaenda kumwaga. Na unakuta kwamba tunaogopa zaidi kwenda usiku nje kwa sababu baba pia alivamiwa alipokuwa akijaribu kwenda nje.
Adobe, the software manufacturer, selected the video as a best case on youth media. Amnesty International also saw the video and they went like, this is good stuff. And they flew two of the guys who worked with from Kibera to New York and gave them a red carpet treatment. And I began thinking, maybe there's a way I can merge my interest in video and photography with the youth I'm meeting in Kibera. So my friend and I, her name is Amy, we started Filamu Juani, which just means films in the sun. And the idea behind Filamu Juani is to train the youth we're working with, the high school students and the post-high school students, on how they can use their skills, their interest in photography to earn a livable wage. Truth be told, it hasn't been rosy. When I came back, I had taken most of my savings. So I'd saved about $5,000, money for my friends, money for my family. My family and friends really gave generously. So with that money, I bought gear, and I thought I'd come in to Kibera, set up shop, start a training school. But one thing I didn't project was the demand, the overwhelming numbers. We just realized quickly that I was only one person training and we didn't have many volunteers. So trying to train 12 students and about 3 post-high school graduates was just overwhelming. Partly because we only had one laptop then, which was my laptop. It was very hard to edit or to do any meaningful work with only one laptop. I think over time I've grown to appreciate the way you can easily get beat up in situations like this. You feel like the need is so much, yet the resources are so scarce, and it's so easy to walk out or to be discouraged. Working with the high school students, we're trying to do a soap called Zuki, has been so gratifying. So Zuki is a story about this girl. I think it was about 13 or 14 years old, and she grew up in Kibera. And Zuki wants to be a concert pianist. She's never seen a piano, but she wants to go ahead and be a concert pianist. So we are working on this story, and hopefully once we produce it, we want to sell it to the big media houses here. But before you sell it, I think we want to show the community here the work that's being done by the people who live in this community. So we're hoping to put up big screens at the district officers' offices or the chief's place. Put up big screens and invite people to see, and maybe charge 5 shillings for VIP and 3 shillings for the general public. I don't know, maybe even charge more. But the idea is that we want the people from this place to see rich stories which are giving life, stories done by their people about them being shown to them. So that's what we are trying to do. My name is Kenolo. I'm working in water.